you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm a little nervous. I'm used to speaking to, shorter people. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it. So, growing up, I was actually, I think a lot of times we have this idea in our mind of testimonies being as people who went through, crazy family stories or something like that. Or my story's a little bit different. I actually grew up as a pastor's kid. My beautiful mom is here tonight. And I grew up in the best home, and even my extended family, they're all believers and Christ followers, which is, I think, really rare, and it's really amazing. My whole life, as a child, my mom can agree with this, I didn't like doing anything wrong. And I was the goody good in every class, I have always been the goody good. And that's probably the most annoying person, but it's not good to annoy Tanner all the time. But I struggled because for a long time I thought because I was making good decisions and I was doing all these awesome things that I was a really strong Christian because of those things. And I was a pastor's kid. I mean, I knew the word, I knew the stories. I went to church every day, really. But my relationship wasn't there for a long, long, long time. And it was all acts. It was because I obeyed the rules, because I didn't do drugs or do alcohol or all this stuff, that I was a really great Christian, which is so not true. What I didn't realize was that this whole time growing up, I wasn't putting my faith in God, but I was putting my faith in people.
Right.
Or I was putting my faith in the church. And I think that's something that a lot of us don't even realize that we do, right, because we love church and we're supposed to love church. And but if church isn't the place of God, then it's wrong.
Right.
And that was me. I put my faith in my family because I'm very, very close to everyone in my family. So I put my faith in my family, and I put my faith in friends, and I put my faith in the church. And I came, when my family went through a tragic situation, I came to the harsh reality that people will fail you.
Yeah.
People in the church, shocking, will fail you.
Right.
Friends that you've known for 15 some odd years will fail you. And I went through this time when my family was just going through some crud that I struggled really, really, really bad. Because I put my faith in people, and because I put my faith in my family. And I honestly think that if I didn't still have my family, that I wouldn't be a Christian today.
Wow.
Because my church failed me, and because my friends failed me, and I put my faith in those things. My family is really the only reason that I'm standing here today. And I thank God every day for that. But I'm going to try to get through this without crying. And I think sometimes we think because this person loves us so much, and this person, I don't know if it's friends or family or church people, they love us so much, or they've known us so long that wow, I just erased everything on accident. That's okay. It's all up here. Thank you. I appreciate that. But so anyways, I struggled. So something happened to my family a couple years back, and for years, I lived in my circumstances. And it's funny because Elliot was talking last night about focus, and your focus being on God. And I think it's so easy to get your focus on something else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a bad thing, guys, because that was it for me. I was like, oh, well, I'm not focused on drinking, so I'm all good, right?
Right.
But my focus was in my church, and my focus was in my family, or my focus became my circumstances. And I was like, well, this is what happened, so I just got to live with it. And I wasn't going anywhere. I was going to a school that I just went to because it was close by and I could be with my family. And I was working at a job that I could work because I made money and I could help my family. And I was living so much in my circumstances, and I was so blinded and so drowned in my circumstances that I didn't even see God anymore. And I think that we do that so easily. And it's something that we all deal with. And we all have something that we focus on instead of God.
Right.
And it's not until all those things fail us that we realize it. And I remember it was only like a week after I came to California, we went to a Hillsong service. And the speaker, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about unforgiveness. And it's so crazy crazy? God is so amazing that Trevor was talking about unforgiveness and Paige was talking about trusting in God, because those are the two things that my testimony is about. God just works that way. But so he was talking about unforgiveness, and I didn't even realize. I think sometimes when people hurt us really badly, we make excuses, and we're like, because this person hurt me so badly, it's okay to be upset with them, right? It doesn't apply to me because of how badly they hurt me, right. Which is what I was doing. I thought because my situation was unique, or because this person was so close to me that they deserved this, and again, my focus was on other people. It was and the destruction of other people, which isn't okay. And I remember we all watched I don't know if we all did, but a lot of us watched the Barabbas video at Easter. Yeah. And it was in a chair in this room that I realized that I still hadn't forgive all those people. Wow. I just made excuses. And the thing was, is I went to my friends or who know about my situation and would be like, I'm not forgiving these people. And they're like, oh, it's okay. Forgiveness takes time. And don't get me wrong, forgiveness does take time. But that should not be as an excuse to not forgive people. Because if you watch the Barabbas video, Jesus forgave Barabbas the instant that he did something against him. Right. Barabbas was the person who deserved to die. And not only that, but Jesus goes on to forgive everybody who's beating him. And it's crazy to me that I spent 3 years of my life drowned in unforgiveness when Jesus forgave me in an instant. Yeah. And not only was it 3 years, but wasn't hurting them. Just like Trevor was saying, my unforgiveness against these people wasn't hurting them, it was holding me back. Wow. Right. And the pastor at Hillsong said, it's like a leash. It's like you're handing them a leash to just hold on to you. And for the first time, I remember in that service just going forward, and I mean, guys, I used to have nightmares about these people that I wouldn't forgive. And to this day, I haven't had any. Wow. 3 years of nightmares. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. It didn't work. But so anyway, if you guys want to learn anything about yourself, get away from everything you know, because I began to learn every issue that I had and why I was drowning those 3 years and the things that I struggled with. And I mean, I had a lot of problems that I didn't deal with. And I didn't realize it until getting away from my family. Right. And I love my family. That was the hardest thing ever. But I thought that being with my family would make everything better and that was what I was supposed to do. But the best thing for my family was for me to be at my full potential and to do what God has for me. That's right. And so I found out a lot about myself. I found out that I want to talk a little bit about the story of the prodigal son. Sorry, my notes are gone, so my head is. How many of you guys have heard the story of the prodigal son? A lot of people, I'll tell it anyways. So the story of the prodigal son is that there was a father and he had 2 sons, and one of his sons, when he turned 18 or whatever age it was back then, he asked for his inheritance. He wanted all his money that was supposed to be his. He was leaving. And so he leaves and he parties and he spends all his money. I don't know how much time, but he spends it fast. So he ends up at a farm, eating with pigs, sleeping with pigs, and this idea hits him. And he thinks, oh, the servants in my father's house live better than I do right now. If I could just go back and beg my father to be a servant. So he goes home, only to find his father has been waiting for him this whole time to just come home to him. And so he throws him a big party, gives him a robe. But what I think sometimes we don't talk about is the end of the story, which is that his brother had been serving him for years, and his brother, when his own brother comes home, he wasn't happy. He was jealous. And he gets mad at his father and he says, why would you throw him a party and not me? Because I've been here serving you this whole time. And it was hard for me to realize that was me. Wow. That was me with these people that had hurt me. And that was me with other people in my life that I was upset because I'm here. God, I've been here serving you this whole time. I haven't done this, and this. But I was just as bad as all the people that had hurt me, as all the people that had made mistakes, as anybody, because my heart wasn't right. It doesn't matter if I was doing the right things. It doesn't matter if I was at church. It doesn't matter. none of it matters because my heart wasn't right. And so the last thing I want to do real quick is just read the story of Mary and Martha. And like I said, this year has taught me a lot about myself, and I've come to realize that a lot about myself, and I wouldn't change it for a thing. So I thank you guys for that opportunity. But I'm just going to read this real quick. It says, now as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she went to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me. But the Lord answered her, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. And I've kind of known about myself. I have a hard time not stressing about when things need to get done. But I never realized that in pretty much every area, especially my relationship with God, I'm a Martha. Because I want to get everything done, and it's not necessarily maybe that Martha was doing anything bad. I mean, I'm sure Jesus was hungry, she just wanted to serve him, but it was her heart. Right. That she was so distracted with perfection, and she wanted to do everything right, that she missed out. And I missed out. Right. And I don't want to do that anymore. And so if there's anything I want you guys to take away from my story is just that put your faith in the right person and don't miss out on God. Wow. Don't be distracted by people or by circumstances. Guys, you guys go through some hard things at your age. What I went through with my family was at 16. Yeah. You guys go through some really, really, really hard stuff. But if your faith is in a boy or a girl or friends or school or church, those things are going to fail you. Right. And it's going to be hard. It's so much easier, guys. And he loves you so much, and he's not going to fail you. So that's all I wanted to say.